Hi everyone. This is another Thinking Out Loud, first of the year for 2026. So happy New Year to you. I'm going to celebrate the start of the new year by returning to a theme that I probably flogged a little in 2025, but it's still on my mind, and so I'm going to rehearse a different, slightly different interpretation, a different presentation of it. So there's something bothering me. And this might be unfounded about the ongoing application of generative AI in the digital learning industry, and it's around this notion that generative AI, impressive and remarkable as it is really focused on optimizing self-study. Self-study has been the definition of digital learning, certainly in workplace learning for as long as I've been around. And the application of these tools, I think, is missing risks missing some significant value that customers are apparently after. Anyway, let me expand that thought. So this is a massively simplified generalization, clearly. So we've got this incredibly impressive technology that can digest, summarize, and treat and manage such a huge range of content signals. So it can tokenize the presentation materials, reports, video, audio, messaging, external information resources, transcripts, all of that remarkable, powerful treatment of all of those different content signals, which are then, I think, so very efficiently and remarkably optimized into a self-study experience. So it's me with my prompt on my device. Increasingly, perhaps voice prompting rather than just text prompting, which is, I think, is a sort of rapidly developing pattern of behavior. But still, it's me on my own doing my learning thing with a highly sophisticated and highly intelligent, well, mostly highly intelligent experience. So we've got the ability to scale and manage the personalization of self-study, but still self-study. My nervousness is that in the drive to become a strategic partner to the business, whatever that might mean, self-study is an inherently limited experience. It can be a rehearsal towards something greater, but we're missing a lot of those valuable signals, partly because they're very, very hard to find. So by contrast, I think in some of the gaps that we're finding, there's large range of what I've called here, simplifying it, as social signals from various different workplace experiences, in offices, in manufacturing workplaces, in retail, etc., but also in conversation, in and around work, in meetings, so that rich context of us working with our colleagues that gives us a sense of how work is going, what we're good at, what we're not, those subtle, soft signals, but very, very powerful and nuanced signals, which are unique, unrepeatable. They're inherently complex, highly personal, and highly subjective, actually, and therefore quite unpredictable, which makes them very, very hard to standardize and hard to treat. And it's hard to find, I think, signals that are equally clear and unambiguous in the way that we might treat those content signals. So, how do we find those signals? How are they tokenized? Can they and should they be? But I think we're missing, excuse me, we're missing that sense of sort of shared interface, shared experience in events and with other people that can therefore become part of our shared development experience. And that's really, I think there's something about the important application of that self-study that might be missing. I'm not certain that this is, that this is something that the industry has addressed. I think we're increasingly seeing service providers and customers more interested in cohort experiences. I think we're sort of seeing a recognition that live events and human contact is becoming more significant, partly because it's been missing for so much, COVID, etc. But also it's missing from our self-study experiences. So how much of a limitation is it to point a highly intelligent self-study agent at all of our learning? I think there's some significant limitations here. I think there's some important barriers to overcome. But I think this is a shortcoming, and I think we need to be careful of it, and we need to be cognizant of it. I'd really like to know what you think. Have I found a completely irrelevant tree to bark up, or do you recognise this? Do you recognise this sort of a hidden value of shared experience in the solutions or in meeting the objectives that these solutions are trying to meet? Anyway, let me know what you think. I said perhaps this will be my last post on this topic, but I suggest it might not be. I seem to be keen on it, so but keen to know your thoughts.